You can clap, it's okay. Thank you, Phyllis. Good morning. My name is Data, and I'll be your service leader today. Welcome to Unity of Bloomington. At Unity, we offer practical spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. We are a center for growth, and we support inspiration, tools, and practices that support people on their path of spiritual growth. Please stand and join us in combining our voices in joyful song.
Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful. Today, I choose to be grateful, grateful. Today, I choose to be peaceful, so peaceful. Today, I choose to be peaceful, peaceful. Whatever I choose is how my day's gonna be. I claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. Today, I choose to be loving, so loving. Today, I choose to be loving, loving. Today, I choose to be joyful, so joyful. Today, I choose to be joyful, joyful. Whatever I choose is how my day's gonna be. I claim what I want, 'cause it's all up to me. It's all up to me. Today, I choose to be playful, so playful. Today, I choose to be playful, playful. Today, I choose to be grateful, so grateful. Today, I choose to be grateful, grateful. To be grateful, grateful. To be grateful, grateful. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing freedom. I'm choosing freedom today. I'm choosing freedom today. I am walking the road of freedom right now, singing I'm choosing freedom today. I choose forgiveness today. I choose forgiveness today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I choose forgiveness today. I'm choosing heaven. I'm choosing heaven today. I'm choosing heaven today. I am walking the road of heaven right now, singing I'm choosing heaven today.
Right. Please remain standing and join me in affirming our statement of being. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. This power expresses life, love, wisdom, and abundance through me. In it, I live and move and have my being. Thank you. You may be seated. One way we empower abundant and meaningful living is by practicing and living our 5 principles. I will state the principle and then invite you to respond with the 2-word affirmation. Are we ready? God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. God is. I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and everyone. I am. I create my experiences by what I think, feel, do, and believe. I create. Through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. I do and give my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. I live. Thank you. And now I'll invite Ginger for our moment with the children.
Hey there, everyone. Ella, I'm so excited to see you. Come and sit and talk a while. So, at the very end of the service last week, or maybe it was at the end of the children's moment, I think I remember you telling me that you had something really fun to do last week. Maybe it was my imagination.
No, last Sunday, what did you do?
I forget.
It has to do with an animal, I think.
I went to the zoo.
What camp did you go to last week?
Oh, I went to horseback.
Yes, she went to horseback riding camp. So how many days was this?
A week.
It was a week. And did you do that here in Bloomington, or did you have to go somewhere?
It's in Bloomington.
It was in Bloomington. Now, I just thought maybe you could tell us one or two of your favorite things that happened with being with the horses.
I liked trotting.
Trotting. I'm not even sure what that is, but it sounds wonderful.
It's when a horse runs.
Thank you, Ella. Was there anything else you enjoyed?
I liked grooming.
Oh, where you got to brush the horse like that?
Mm-hmm.
And what was one thing that you hope that you get to do again after that experience?
Ride horses again.
Ride horses again. So is this a choice that you feel like you're going to make in the future for you to ride horses?
Yes.
Wow. So I'm really excited about all that happened. And now, did you stay at home and sleep, or did you sleep there?
What do you think?
I think you probably stayed at home, but I don't know.
Yeah. I would not like to sleep with the horses.
Oh, well, I'm sure they might have had a separate room for you to sleep in.
They don't.
They don't. But you know, if it were in the olden days and it was really cold outside, I bet a horse would be great to sleep with.
I would.
She wouldn't want to do that. I'm so excited. You can't see my face now, but it is like I'm very smiley because I was so excited when you said that you were going to horse riding camp last week. And this month in August, we are talking about the spiritual power of will. And one of the things that comes to mind when I think of the spiritual power of will is our ability to make choices. And that's why I asked you, if you had the choice, would you choose to do that again? And you said yes, because you want to ride a horse. And so these are you make choices all the time. Did you decide how you were going to fix your hair this morning?
No, I just put a headband on.
Yes, but that was what you decided. You said, I'm going to choose to put this headband on this morning. And that was a choice that you made. Did you decide to wear flip-flops or tennis shoes? Or sandals?
Sandals.
So yeah, when you were getting ready this morning, you said, okay, I could wear my sandals, or you probably have some tennis shoes or maybe other shoes, but you decided on the sandals. So you're making choices all the time. So one of the things that we're going to talk about a little later on is how you and I have the ability to make choices that will influence how we experience life. Do you know what's going on Wednesday?
My school?
Yes. For those of y'all who did not know, on Wednesday, people that are school-aged will begin their education again, although we know education never stops. But we'll be going back to school. And so I was wondering if you would like to maybe decide today, right now, that on Wednesday, you're going to have a great day because you just choose it. I'm going to have a great day. What do you think?
Definitely.
Definitely, yes. So Ella, you're going to be our inspiration because now we know that Ella has chosen to have a great day on Wednesday. That means that all of these adults in here, that they now know that they can choose to have a great day every day. And so can you. It's delightful to see you, and I'm so glad you got to meet some wonderful horses this week, and I'm sure you might have made some friends too.
Yes.
Yes. So you are the future, and we love you, okay? So we'll see you again, okay?
You are the future, and we love you. You are the future, and we honor you. You are the future, and we lift you up. You are the future, you're divine.
Ella has been the star of our children's moment for many, many times, and I'm so, so happy to see her, whether it's online or in person. Our August 2021 theme is Will. This year, Unity's annual theme is How to Stay Centered No Matter What. Very helpful, right? We're all about the tools. Each month, we explore the role that one of the 12 powers plays in staying centered and experiencing inner peace no matter what's happening around us. This month, we're exploring the power of will. Spiritual will brings clarity and direction. It affords a new way forward, a new path to fulfillment. The power of will sustains each of us as we pursue our divine purpose. We're committed and resolute, bypassing distractions and disregarding desires that would lead us astray. Divine will directs us to devote our energies to practices that carry us forward as we focus on our goal. We're focused and flexible, determined, but not dogmatic. Attuned to the flow of spirit, we can be willing and open to the path ahead with a clear sense of purpose and direction. The power of will enables us to choose each step, knowing that our highest good is unfolding. We're grateful that this power of will guides us onward and upward, and so we affirm this month, I use my power of will to choose, to commit, and to be willing. Please join me in claiming this truth as our own. Together, I use my power of will to choose, to commit, and to be willing. In our announcements, if any of you, Bloom Magazine in Bloomington is a real treasure, and it's free and available in a lot of different places. This is this month's? Yes, this last month's. And in it, there is an article about New Hope, which is a shelter for people who do not have shelter, and it specifically targets families and trying to provide facilities that will keep the family unit together, which is unusual in the world of facilities that house people without shelter. And we're so grateful that within our community, we have Phyllis Wycliffe, who is very, very active in the New Hope volunteer structure. And Phyllis, would you like to say anything that's happening with New Hope this month?
On August 13th, which is a Friday, it's not superstitious, it'll be a good time. There's a street festival, basically, that is a fundraiser for the new building that is going on for New Hope. If you haven't seen it, it's at the corner of Morton and Patterson. It's going up real fast. It's supposed to be done by the end of the year.
The two buildings?
Pardon? Two buildings, right. There's one that's a child care center that's part of the shelter, and one that's a shelter. But anyway, there's a fundraiser, a street festival on the 13th on 4th Street between Lincoln and Washington. And time is 5 to 8, I think. There's music, free food, all kinds of good stuff there. So if you get a chance, stop by. Even if you don't donate anything, have a look at all the stuff that's going on in New Hope, because it's a really cool thing right now. Thank you.
It is, yeah, it's very singular, and how wonderful that we have this in our community. And you can read more about New Hope in the Bloom magazine, and they also have their URL, which is New Hope, the number 4 families, plural.org, newhope4families.org. And thank you, Phyllis, for being a part of that. Our word for today is radiance. And take a moment now before we go into the daily word to just feel the energy of that word. Radiance. What does that feel like in your body? The affirmation is, the Christ presence within is my radiant source of good. Now settle into your chairs, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, just allow your body to relax and feel the chair or whatever you're sitting on or resting on at home, just supporting the weight of your body. And you need to do nothing else in this moment but breathe. On a clear day when a stray cloud passes across the sun, I notice the suddenly diminished light. Then looking up, I see brilliant rays of sunshine surrounding the cloud. Instead of hiding the sun, the cloud helps me see and appreciate the sun's radiance. As the sun lights the earth and is the source of its energy, the Christ, the divine presence within me, is my light and the source of everything that I need in order to live brilliantly and joyfully. When, like a passing cloud, an obstacle or challenge along my path may seem to dim my Christ light, I respond by looking up, by raising my point of view, and I am reassured and strengthened, knowing that the divine radiance is shining as brightly as ever. No cloud can dim the divine light in me. From John chapter 1, verse 5, the light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. Now let us join together in speaking this affirmation aloud. Together, the Christ presence within is my radiant source of good. And now repeat it to yourself silently. The Christ presence within is my radiant source of good. Our speaker today is Spiritual Ministry Co-Coordinator Ginger Curry, and Ginger and Phyllis will also provide our musical inspiration.
Thank you, David.
When that small voice of doubt starts to whisper in my ear, when that loud shout of no brings me to tears, when I feel I can't go on and I've lost my way, you remind me is here inside of me. All I'll ever need for this life is here inside. All the strength I need to see me through my day, all the love to transform all my fears, all the wisdom to guide my steps each day. It's here inside. All I'll ever need is here inside of me. All I'll ever need for this life is here inside. Oh, deep inside of me, where all those questions cease, all I'll ever need for this life is here inside. All I'll ever need for this life is here inside.
Thank you. Thank you, Phyllis, and thank you, Betsy. Thank you, Lynn. Good morning, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful and beautiful first day of August. I freaked out a little bit when I realized it was August 1st because I was like, what happened to the last 7 months? Where did they go? Have you noticed the theme so far today? I gave the music team extra credit because they had to sing through all the songs this morning. But most of our songs, a lot of our affirmations today have been emphasizing the word choice or choose. Today I choose to be grateful. I'm choosing heaven today. And then you don't know it yet, but our last song is going to be I Choose Love. So I'm really driving home the point. Maybe I'm being a little overboard. I don't know. But today, one of the key words that I'm focusing on is our power of choice. As I mentioned the last time that I spoke, we have been doing a study on the 12 powers. When we did our 5 basic principles earlier in the service, Dave mentioned that this is just one of the tools that we use to remind us that we have power within us, and that power comes from our ability to choose. The way that we look at the world, the way that we decide to navigate the world is all influenced by how we have chosen to see the world. So the 12 powers is another one of those tools that we use to kind of navigate life, to make life more, to live life more abundantly. So We mentioned earlier that the 12 Powers was popularized by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, and they were our two co-founders. And this all kind of started coming together at the end of the 19th century in the 1890s. And that the 12 Powers, which just fell on the floor, I actually brought my 12 Powers book today. You will notice that it's not as earmarked as the other books, because I explained the last time I spoke about the 12 Powers that although I love the 12 Powers, I find it easier to read books written by people that read Charles Fillmore to explain in modern day terms what was going on. So, but here is a copy of the 12 Powers book. This is my go-to 12 Powers book, Divine Audacity, written by Reverend Linda Martella Whitsitt. Actually, I have 3 copies of this book. This is my cleanest copy. The other copies have like sticky notes all over them. A new one that I am exploring this year was a gift from Joni Reagan, and this is Adventures in Resilience, which I really love that word resilience, because I really feel like you and I have been using our resilience the past year and a half. And it says, ignite the 12 powers in you to create a radiant life. And then this is the go-to authority. This is the Heart-Centered Metaphysics, a deeper look at unity teachings by the Reverend Paul Hasselbeck. So those are the 4 books that that are my go-to books. There are many, 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 many more books out there, but these are the ones that speak in language that speaks to me. The words resonate with me. So as we talk about the 12 powers, this month we're looking at the power of will. And one of the things that I was reminded of when I was looking into the metaphysics book was that there are 2 ways to look at will. And one is from our sense or human consciousness, and one is from our higher consciousness or from divine mind. So if we look at will from our human consciousness, we see that words like willfulness, wrong-headedness, obstinacy, or stubborn, those are the kind of ways that this divine idea can show up when we use it from our human awareness. So divine ideas that we're talking about, these 12 divine ideas, are neutral ideas. And when they come into expression into this physicalness, that's where they take on characteristics of either our human consciousness or our divine consciousness. So what we're talking about here is when we've used our human conscious a little too much, we might become stubborn. Or the word that Dave used earlier was dogmatic. And then this is a word that we don't use very often, and I kind of I looked it up just because I wasn't quite I know what I thought it meant, but wrong-headedness. We don't really use that word, but from what I got, it's more like misguided judgment or a misguided opinion. I think that we know a lot of people that, in our opinion, are suffering from a misguided judgment or an opinion. This is how this power of will manifests when we've tapped into that human consciousness, maybe a little too much. But if we take a moment to temper that with our higher consciousness, we get these ideas: the ability to choose, the ability to decide, our ability to lead, to take action. Our affirmation for this month is, I use my power of will to choose, to commit, to be willing, and I like to add, to be willing to take action to the end of that affirmation. So will, it is our executive power in our divine mind. What will does is it calls forth all these other powers. so that we can use them when we're making decisions, when we're deciding on what our next step should be, when we are deciding what we should do when we are in the midst of an experience that maybe we really don't want to experience. I'll tell a story. I didn't ask permission, so I'm going to ask forgiveness, Phyllis. She's already laughing. Yeah. So Phyllis experienced a car accident this past week. She is perfectly fine, just a little sore, but her car, not so much. And so in this past week, she gets double extra credit because she was practicing her power of will before it was even August. So you get extra credit, extra marks. She was in this situation, not one that she was expecting to be in. All of a sudden, her mode of transportation is not reliable anymore, is not there. And so in those next moments, those hours, there has to be decisions that are making. We have to choose what we want to do next. Do we want to replace the car? Do we want to see if we can get by without it? If we decide to get a car, how are we going to go about that? Are we going to get a used car? Are we going to get a brand new car? Are we going to pay for it in cash? Are we going to get a loan? All of these decisions that sometimes we just forget how many decisions we make in a day. But all these decisions that we find ourselves needing to make. And this is something that I heard a few weeks ago that I loved. And it says I don't want to use that word. We can give ourselves the permission to not choose correctly. Not giving ourselves permissions to make the wrong decision, but giving ourselves the permission to not make the best choice. Because if we limit ourselves to only making the best choice, some of us might get stuck in never making a choice, which is a choice in itself. But if we allow ourselves the permission to make a decision that might not be the best choice, but with the information that we have, it's the best choice that we can make at that moment. Because you always have those people that go, well, you know what you should have done? Well, maybe I could have done that, but in the moment, that was not in my option category. I didn't have that in mind. So if we give ourselves permission not to make the best choice, we can also give ourselves permission to make a different choice if that choice that we have made is not working out for us. So many times we think that when we make a choice that that's it. We make the choice, we can never change our mind. Now, there are a few instances where where there's only like one chance. Deciding on what type of Social Security you would like to take. I think they give you one oopsie, and then they say no more choices. But very rarely do we come across these decisions where we're not allowed to make a different choice in the next moment, or in the next hour, or the next day, or maybe in the next couple years after we've kind of explored this choice and decided it's time to make a different one. The will moves to action all the other faculties or all the other powers of our mind. As I said, it's the executive branch of our spiritual awareness. I told this story earlier today, but when my mom and dad moved up here from South Alabama, pretty much the very first thing we did was contacted a lawyer and put their affairs in order, because we knew that in the next couple years we would be going through some changes, and I might have to take over a little more, and I needed to make sure that I had the legal documents in place so that that would make it easier and the transition more easier for everyone. The interesting part is that I myself had not yet done my will, but we take baby steps sometimes. So the first thing we did was we got their affairs in order, and then this past summer, Scott and I have been getting our affairs finally in order, and I encourage us all to get our affairs in order. But when I was kind of noodling on this idea of will, it brought to mind wills, which, as we all know, is our legal document that declares our personal intentions concerning my personal and financial affairs upon my death or my passing. So this is how we think about a will in our daily lives. But I wanted to introduce you to this other concept, the spiritual will, where that we make an intention of how I will choose to experience and express my Christ nature while I'm here on earth. So I will let your family lawyer or doctor talk to you about your will, and I will now talk to you about your spiritual will. Have you and I taken the time to sit down and realize that we have the ability in this navigating of our journey here on earth to set the intention that this is how we desire to experience and to express our divine nature, our Christ nature, our divine potential in our daily lives. Ella and I talked about it earlier today. We set our intention on how her first day is going to be. It's going to be great. Whatever comes her way will be a new experience. Whatever comes her way, she knows, and I will affirm this with you, Ella, that you have everything within you to navigate through that. That you will call upon your divine energy within to make the best choices that you can at that moment. So I want to encourage each of us to really be intentional about how we are using this power of spiritual will. So we talked about the 5 basic principles with Dave earlier today. We've talked about the 12 powers. And then I wanted to talk about another tool that we use here at Unity, and it's called a denial and an affirmation. That way we can just start using all these tools so that we get better and better, so that, when I get really good at a recipe, I no longer have to look at the book because I've practiced it over and over again and I know which ingredients to add. When I get really good at my spiritual practice, then I don't have to go, oh yeah, how do I do that again? What power should I use now? Or how, what can I tap into? We come to a point where we just automatically just go there. We go to thinking, I create my experiences. If I'm not enjoying what's happening in my life right now, something needs to change. More than likely, the something that needs to change is my perception of the experience. So, denials and affirmations. One misconception that happens a lot when we use the word denial is that people will think that we are denying the situation or denying what is happening around us. But what we are denying is the power that experience or that situation has over us. There's no denying when you break a bone. You break a bone. But what we can do is we can give no power to this experience and claim that we are listening to our bodies and that our body is calling forth on all the cells to work together to advance and to hasten the healing that's possible for when we might experience a broken bone. So we're denying the power. And I've gone through a lot of incarnations on my my practices of denials and affirmations. But here is the form that I have landed on and that I like. I like to say, I give no power to choices and decisions made entirely from sense consciousness. That puts the power in my realm. I give no power. I give no power to this feeling of uncertainty that I am experiencing because ... I give no power to this feeling of fear that I am experiencing because I have decided to jump out of an airplane, which I'm not going to do. I know, at least not at this point in my life. I'm not gonna paint myself into any corner. But we are denying we are giving no power. I love that because that puts it all back into that I am. I give no power. And then we have the affirmation. I use divine will to make wise choices and decisions. So I give no power to whatever I'm experiencing at the moment. And then I make a statement of affirmation. What am I doing? I'm using my power of will to take action, to make wise choices and decisions. I encourage everyone, if you're not already receiving the daily word in your mailbox or receiving it on your phone, to get on that. And come talk to me after the service if you need. Oh, and we have some in the foyer if you would like to take one home with you. And actually, it has all the subscription information in the back. I just wanted to share a few of my favorite intention settings from the last week. The first one happened on Tuesday, July 27th. And that day it was carefree. My carefree heart soars to new heights. Oh wait, whoa, something happened. I got ahead of myself. This is the highlights up here. It says, I set my intention today to keep my heart light and carefree. That does not mean every thought or experience of the day will be untroubled, because life happens. But it does mean I will choose to view the circumstances from the highest perspective of peace and love. I choose to shrug off those little things that sometimes receive too much of my attention. Instead, I look for levity and take all situations with a grain of salt. I respond with a light touch. Imagine starting off your Tuesday with that intention. You're setting that intention. I respond with a light touch. I'm sure you would be thinking about that all day, and no matter what came to you, in a moment you might, forget where you were and get angry or get frustrated, but then you would go, oh, this morning I read something about light touches. The other one happened Friday, July 23rd. This is called gentle. I move through life gently. Today, I choose to extend gentleness to everyone I encounter, including myself. I look to God's unconditional love as inspiration on how to treat others. I look to God's unconditional love as inspiration for how to treat others. I stay grounded and connected to my gentle spirit. My relationships become healthier and more secure, and I feel more compassionate, and I am at peace. I commit to living gently and responding kindly. I commit to living gently and responding kindly. My actions bless me and everyone in my life. So this week, as we go about our busyness, as we go about shining our light through whatever gifts and talents that we have, through whatever commitments we have made to the community around us, let's ask ourselves, what are my intentions today concerning how I will experience and express my Christ nature? What are my intentions? And then we can take it a little further. What are my intentions for this next week? What are my intentions for the month of August? Or what are my intentions for the next year? Ella, what grade will you be in this year? Fifth grade. What are my intentions for the fifth grade? What are my intentions for the next 5 years? Ella will be in the 10th grade. Where will you and I be 5 years from now? How will we be living from our intention? These are the things that I would invite you to reflect on and think about and make plans around, make commitments to. I commit to living a graceful life. I commit to expressing love and kindness. Granted, I am not at the point yet where I just naturally do this 24/7. That's why I'm here this morning, because I'm still practicing. And so all of the love and the grace that we extend to others, we also need to make sure that we're extending it to ourselves. So we're going to, and so each morning this week, we're going to write down what are our intentions for the day. And then at nighttime, see how that is manifested. So we're going to prepare for meditation now by singing In the Silence.
In the silence, there is a sacred space, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now I find that I know peace of mind. In the silence, my path is paved in gold, and all my dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there.
I invite you at this moment to close your eyes if that feels comfortable. Unwind your arms and your legs. Lengthen your spine as you feel the crown of your head floating up. Take a nice cleansing breath in and slowly release.
as I go through my daily life, I'm reminded that whenever I need a break, whenever I need a pause, I can return to this moment of witnessing my breath in and out, and knowing that as I quiet my mind and as I focus on those in-between times between the breath in and the releasing of the breath, that in the moment I am touching stillness. In the moment I am touching that mysterious place where all things begin, where all is created, and where all that I wish to experience and express gather their energy. The moments that I forget, the moments that I am unaware, the moments where I tap into that sense or human consciousness. That is the time where I hear the sweet, silent call to come back, to step into the truth of who I am, the spiritual being visiting this physical experience for a brief time. The truth that my spirit is eternal. The truth that in this physicalness I am here but for a moment. And with this new understanding, I can make the choice to choose to see beyond my physical eyes, beyond my physical knowingness, to realize that I have the opportunity to bring love, that I have the opportunity to bring compassion, that I have the opportunity to bring the activity of God into this present moment. Every decision I make, every choice that I decide, every action that I choose, let it be informed by this higher understanding. Let it be informed by this greater knowingness. As we rest for a moment, let us remember that we are because God is in the silence.
We now turn to the spiritual practice of generosity. We are grateful for the many ways the center supports us in our spiritual growth, and we in turn are happy to support this center with our financial contributions and voluntary service. We're also grateful to those who have already put in place automatic weekly, monthly, or quarterly giving. Today, if you feel led to give, please visit our website at unityofbloomington.org and click on the giving link. And if you brought a tithe or a love offering with you this morning, I invite you to place it in the singing bowl at the back of the chapel as you leave. The singing bowl is also where you can leave any prayer request if you have any. And you'll find the prayer request card in the pocket in the seat of the chair in front of you. If you need one and you don't find one, just raise your hand and we'll make sure that you get one. Please join me now in speaking aloud our abundance affirmation. Together, I am an abundant being, living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
Peace in my life is growing because I choose love. Love's always present, it's what I'm made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One tie that binds us, let it be undone. I choose love. I choose love. Peace in my family is growing because I choose love. Let love be present is what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One loving family, sharing one son. I choose love. I choose love. Peace for our planet is growing because I choose love. Let love be present, it's what we're made of. I choose love. We are a part of each other. We are one. One choice unites us, let this be the one. I choose love. I choose love. I choose love.
And that just kind of wraps it all up, doesn't it? We bless our abundance with these words together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I'd like to invite you to stand now and join with me in saying our closing prayer together. We are here to glow as the light of God. We are the light of God. We are here to embrace as the love of God. We are the love of God. We are here to stand in truth as the power of God. We are the power of God. We are here to radiate as the presence of God. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. In gratitude for our radiant health, please remain in place and join us in singing together, "Let There Be Peace on Earth."